Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of the Feuerstein's American Soccer Show. And tonight we will review the first round of the 2026 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. My name is Daniel Feuerstein. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Please don't forget to join me and my fellow writers over at Beyond the 90, at beyondthe90.substack.com, and of course locally for New York Soccer on baddogsports.com. Come on in. The chat room is open here on YouTube. And please don't forget, talk amongst yourselves if you like. If you have a question for me, I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. And as always, subscribe here. Yep, subscribe right here for your daily American soccer content here on the Feuerstein's American Soccer Show. What an amazing first round it was last week. Unbelievable. Amazing first round matches. We had at least, 6 to 7 cup sets going on and some pretty good action. There was some games that was lopsided, but other than that, it was an amazing week of first round proper action. We're going to review some of those games and we'll give you the full list, of course, with 64 games being played. 64 teams being played, I should say. Just amazing stuff. Of course, we already knew 2 matches that were not being able to play. Of course, we remember one's a forfeit, as you can see here on the screen. FC America, CFL Spurs advances on the forfeit from South Georgia Tormenta, so they automatically went to the second round. Pittsburgh Riverhounds were supposed to travel within the city to take on Steel City FC. And unfortunately, that match was postponed due to very bad inclement weather. I don't know how bad of the weather it was in Pittsburgh that day, but unfortunately, it was unplayable that day. So it has been postponed to this coming Wednesday, March 25th, and that should be on YouTube. So it should be exciting. It should be a lot of fun, and cannot wait to see what will happen when that matchup does happen this Wednesday. And we will definitely enjoy going forward with what is happening with the U.S. Open Cup. And then we'll finally finish off the first round proper. And then we'll go straight to the second round proper. And we'll preview those games later on tonight, obviously. Other big matches that you saw, Richmond Kickers defeats Northern Virginia FC by a final of 2-0. We had Rhode Island FC destroying Fialenza FC, CD Fialenza 4-0. How about that? Vermont Green 1-0 victory over Portland Hearts of Pine, first cup set of the first round. FC America does not count because obviously South Georgia Tormenta forfeited, so that's not really a cup set, but that's okay. They do advance to the next round, though. That's the most important thing. Detroit City FC defeating Michigan Rangers by a final of 5-1 indoors. Westchester United falls to Loudoun United by 1-2. Colorado Springs Switchbacks takes out Azteca FC by a final of 3-0. Indy 11 defeating Des Moines Menace by a final of 3-0. Phoenix Rising takes out San Ramon FC 4-0. Chattanooga FC taking on and defeating Kalonji Pro Profile 2-1. We'll have the other cup sets from Wednesday. Asheville City SFC defeating Greenville Triumph 3-1. Charleston Battery defeating Florida Badgers FC 2-1. Louisville City taking out Southern Indiana FC 2-0. FC Naples taking out Red Force FC 3-0. FC Motown taking out, they were defeated at home by Hartford Athletic 0-2. And then the other matches, of course, Wednesday through Thursday, SC Vistula Garfield falls to 1 Knoxville, but SC by a final of 1-3. Both's St. Louis gets destroyed by Union Omaha 0-8. Little Rock Rangers falls to FC Tulsa 2-4. San Antonio FC destroys ASC New Stars 6-0. New Mexico United edges Cruisers FC 3-2. In extra time, it was Sacramento Republic 2-0 over El Farolito. We'll talk more about that in a moment. AV Alta FC falls to Valley 559 FC 0-1. Ventura County Fusion falls to Spokane Velocity by 1-2. Orange County FC they defeat Laguna United 3-0. The other cup set, Carolina Core falls to Virginia Dream by 1-2. Charlotte Independence defeats Ristosi FC by a final of 4-1. Flint City Bucks takes out Forward Madison 2-0. Westchester SC takes out the New York Renegades 2-0. The battle of the New York City suburb derby. Westchester County knocking off Long Island. Tennessee Tempo defeating and edging Chattanooga Red Wolves by 1-0. Laredo Heat falls to El Paso Locomotive by a final of 0-2. And Lexington SC destroys Flower City Union by a final of 9-0. Amazing stuff in the Open Cup. Just tremendous stuff that we saw. And we have at least 6 to 7 cup sets in this opening round. 6 to 7. And that is amazing within itself. And it was wonderful. To talk about the action in the one match that I saw, that I think we all saw, obviously, Sacramento Republic hosting El Farolito. This was the second consecutive tournament that these two sides were going to face each other. Last year was in the third round, and Sacramento edged El Farolito by 1-0, and this was all in Sacramento. This time, however, back in Sacramento, but in the opening round. And once again, great action. Fantastic plays, scoring opportunities, great goalkeeping, solid defensive plays, solid tackles, nothing awry. Everything was going excellent until you get the match into extra time, leveled at a deadlock. And then that's when Forrester Ajago gets 2 goals. In between those goals, frustration mounted for El Farolito. Not again. They're behind by a goal in the first half of extra time. And then out of nowhere, a horrible challenge, a horrible tackle from El Farolito's. Let me just get it up there real quick, and I can get you his name. But I can definitely tell you that was a horrible challenge, and that came from Kipri Sacre in the 102nd minute after Forrest Ajago's first goal in the 95th minute. That was a straight red card. He earned a straight red card, and that put El Farolito down at 10 men. And then as extra time kept going, it was Forrester Ajago again in second half stoppage time of extra time that got the second goal. It ended the match, and unfortunately, it didn't end all the time. I mean, I shouldn't say it didn't end right off the bat. You wished it would have. But we saw the emotions bubbling up. We saw the emotions bubbling up out in Sacramento, and it was just really hard to watch that. And you were saying to yourself, okay, look, now it's a proper derby. It's a big rivalry now. These two clubs, they don't face each other regularly. They're in 2 separate leagues. But now it's an Open Cup derby, and this is, folks, just amazing. And, it's just one of those things where, unfortunately, emotions take over. Emotions take over. It's just absolutely terrible when you're seeing pushing, shoving, and fists flying around. And then what's even worse, is when you see a player from El Farolito jumping into the stands and going after a Sacramento fan because apparently something happened in the stands. Now, originally at first, I did not know what it was. I thought it was a projectile being thrown out onto the pitch. That's what I thought it was, but it was not. And, you know, thankfully, it was not that. But it was, unfortunately, one of the players. He ran out into the stands and he basically went to find the person that injured his wife and child. And that, my friends, is not good. That, my friends, is terrible. And thankfully, from El Farolito, they had this out there, both in English and Spanish, obviously. I have it in English for you, and there it is. This is what they said. Our club has carefully reflected on the events following Wednesday night's U.S. Open Cup match. We are deeply saddened by an incident that caused injuries to a player's wife and 3-year-old son. Our player entered the stands in an effort to protect his family. Stadiums should always be a safe place for fans, supporters, and families alike. As a club, we do not condone violence, and this type of violence has no place in the beautiful game. We have reported and will fully cooperate with U.S. Soccer's investigation into the incident, and we look forward to moving on from this unfortunate situation and returning to the pitch. First of all, I want to say thank you to El Farolito, obviously Santiago Lopez and the Lopez family. Look, I know for a fact they never wanted that to happen, and I don't blame I don't blame the player for trying to protect his family. We've seen this during the Copa America when it was here in the United States 2 summers ago. We saw that happen, and it was just horrible to watch that happen, to see the Uruguayan players running into the stadium, into the stands, protecting their families, they're watching their families being harassed. It's horrible, it's terrible, and it's really you really don't want to see that happen. You don't want to see that happen. You try to avoid those things, and the point is that we can't have these situations happen at all. We just can't. And all you hope for, you get a great match, which is what we got. Without a doubt, we had a great match in Sacramento, in the capital city of California. We saw two sides going at it, balls to the wall, hard fought, and, horrible challenges do happen, unfortunately. But then when you get that moment that you got to run to the stands to protect your family, I do feel bad for the player and for his wife and his child, his 3-year-old son. But, when you go into the stands, regardless of what type of stadium it is, you can't have that happen. And I understand that the player is trying to protect his family, and that's great to see. But still, though, you have to wonder about what the mindset is of the player and all the people. And we don't know what was going on when we were watching it. I thought a projectile was thrown from the stands at Heart Health Park. I really thought it was a projectile, whether it be coins, beer, you're throwing stones or whatever have you. I thought something horrible was being thrown on the pitch. No, it didn't have that. It did not happen. Thank God it did not happen. I mean, hopefully that player's wife and child is well. It's just, minor injuries, you hope. But, once again, you just have to hope and pray that that doesn't happen again. And all I can say is that I really hope that never happens again. Look, do I want a derby? You're damn right I do. I want a derby like this in the Open Cup. You'll never see them playing against each other in a regular season match at all. They do not play in the same league. Sacramento Republic is in the second division with the USL Championship, and El Farolito right now is in the National Premier Soccer League, a national league, and they just have to find a way to go out there and to they just got to go out there, play another match, make it exciting, make it a lot of fun, and just go out there and have some fun. But at the same time, let's be safe out there. Let's be safe. Let's take it easy. Let's go out there and have ourselves a heck of a time. That's all you want. That's all you hope for. And, that's what I want to see. I want to see those guys go out there and perform at their best. Perform at their best. And attempt to give us a good show. That's all you want. That's all you need. So, I mean, basically, that's all you want. But other than that, folks, it was a great Open Cup first round. Outside of that, it was a great Open Cup first round. And, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the second round. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what will happen in the second round of the U.S. Open Cup. So get ready, folks. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. And cannot wait to see what will happen here. So we're going to see what's going to happen, and we're going to see how we're going to do. So it should be fun, should be exciting. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to see what we're going to happen here. Now, as we move on, I'm waiting for my first guest to join me. Actually, first guests tonight. Hopefully, they'll be joining us to be on the show tonight. If you watched Chattanooga FC hosting Kalanji Pro Profile, if you watched that match, history was made in the Open Cup. History was made for the first time ever in the modern era of the U.S. Open Cup. Bruno Kalanji, the head coach and the owner of the Kalanji Pro Profile Kalanji Soccer Academy, his son Braden, at the ripe old age of 14 years old. I know I say old age, but in reality, he's just a young kid. And you know what they say, if you're old enough, you're good enough. Or if you're good enough, you're old enough. Either way, whatever it is, that's what it means. 14 years old, and he scores the first goal of the match. Scores the first goal of the match to make it 1-0. Now, unfortunately, Chattanooga does make a comeback. They level it late in the first half, and then they take the lead right away at the start of the second half. But to see that kid bury that ball into the back of the net on the rebound from a penalty that was saved by Chattanooga FC's goalkeeper, and the rebound is going back to Braden Kalanji, and all he does is just gives a nice little rainbow chip, buried it into the back of the net. You want to see that? You want to see that again? I got it for you right here, folks. Look at this. Look at this. There's the penalty being taken. Save. All the way back out. That's Braden Kalanji. He puts it up high and over and in. And look at him celebrate into the corner like he's Thierry Henry. Unbelievable what this kid can do. You want to see that again? Here you go again. Braden Kalanji. That's not him at the penalty spot. That's his teammate. It was saved. But there he is right there. Lean back a bit. Got a nice sweet touch on the ball. Buried it into the back of the net. How about that? 14 years old, folks. 14 years old. The youngest goal scorer in the modern age of the Open Cup. Tremendous. Tremendous. What an amazing event. What an amazing moment it must be for that kid. Not just to score a professional goal, or at least being in a professional competition like the Open Cup, but to, put his side ahead at the, early moments of the match. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so as we move on here, here's what we'll do. We'll just wait for the Kalanjis to join us in a bit. We're going to try and get a couple of matches to discuss here before hopefully they'll be able to join us tonight. So let's just go ahead and take a look at like one or two matches. Some of these cup sets that we had in the Open Cup. And obviously one that was really amazing was, of course, Carolina Core, as they hosted Virginia Dream, Carolina Core of MLS Next Pro, and there they were with the lead, 1-0 in the 52nd minute by Tom Zegers. And then all of a sudden, if Carolina Core is thinking they've had it made, and here comes Virginia Dream, they through the qualifications of the UPSL and the amateur qualification rounds in the fall, September through November, and then Zoumana Diarra, 58th minute, levels it at 1. 6 minutes later, and then 20 minutes later, a King Bolahana, a King Koi. Say that name 3 times fast or 5 times fast. I know I'll probably mess it up myself. He gets the game-winning goal. They hold on all the way to the end, and Virginia Dream advances to the second round as they defeated and knocked out Carolina Core of MLS Next Pro. Cup set, one of the many cup sets we had in the first round of the Open Cup. And just amazing stuff that we had, folks. Just amazing stuff. And as we continue on here on the show, I'll go ahead and do this again. Here's that play again from Braden Kalanji, 14 years old. Once again, that's not him. That's just his teammate taking the penalty, making the save. And then bang, there it goes, flew into the net, of course, through YouTube and courtesy of U.S. Soccer. That was an amazing effort by Braden Kalanji, and he does set the record for the modern era of the Open Cup, the youngest goal scorer in Open Cup history. Just amazing work, just amazing job. And, you know, it's a situation that you would love to see again. You would love to see again. Now, once again, unfortunately, Chattanooga FC defeats Kalanji Pro Profile by a final of 2-1. But take nothing away from the Kalanjis. You know, his dad was there to coach his son. His son had an amazing shot, an amazing goal. I don't know what his son's plans are. Obviously, if he becomes a full-time footballer, you never know. There's a possibility he might. There's a possibility he might not be. But, you know, look, give the kid credit for scoring that type of a goal. It was amazing. Amazing. And when I watched that, it was an amazing goal. But, of course, you know, with me, I had to watch multiple games. I had multiple games to watch. And when that kid put the ball in the back of the net like that, I was amazed. But I will admit, I did not hear it on the broadcast of the kid's age. During the broadcast for FC Vistula Garfield hosting One Knoxville, and that match was in Garfield, New Jersey, the broadcasters were talking about that goal, and they mentioned the kid's age at being 14 years old. 14 years old. That is unbelievable. I was in complete and utter shock at that time. 14 years old, and you scored a goal like that. Amazing. Against adults. Not teenagers, not academy players, adults. And you pull that off, and it was just completely amazing. Could you imagine if they would have won that match? Could you imagine the big scalp they would have had to put that notch in their belt? It would have been probably, you know, a double excitement. The youngest goal scorer in the U.S. Open Cup modern history of it, and then this academy club that plays in the UPSL, they go out there and they upset a big-time club like Chattanooga FC. Could you imagine the fanfare they would have gotten back home? I mean, they probably got a good fanfare anyway. But to you know, get the win the way they did, that was unbelievable. That was tremendous. And I'm just proud of those guys. I'm proud of those kids. Happy for those kids. Obviously, you would hope that he does become a professional footballer somewhere down the line. But you can add that to your resume, folks. And I hope, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Whoops. Sorry about that. Pardon me. You know, you can add that to your resume, and then they'll look it up on YouTube. Say, go ahead, it's on YouTube. It's on social media. Take a look. And boom, there it is. And you can definitely say, oh, yeah, you're the kid that scored that wonder goal in the Open Cup. So you want to sign your first professional contract or what? You know, you're just so happy for a kid like that to get his first goal. You're just so happy for a kid like that to go out there and perform at his best. And he comes out there and he does amazing work. And you just hope that he, you know, keeps putting the ball in the back of the net. And you hope for the next round of qualification for 2027. Now, we need to see what's going to happen for the Open Cup for 2027 because of MLS now switching to the international calendar. Because we don't know if there will be a shift with the Open Cup itself. But at the same time, we need to see USL also shifting for the Open Cup and for the international calendar to be part of MLS. Because if we don't have that shift, then the Open Cup will be in trouble. And we can't have this tournament be in trouble. We cannot have any interference because one league decides to go the right way and another league or the other leagues below in the lower levels decides to remain where they are. It's just going to be a situation where it's going to get messed up. And U.S. Soccer is going to have to put their foot down. Whether we expect them to do it or not, that's a different story. But what we need to see is U.S. Soccer telling USL and the other leagues, it's time to go to the international calendar. MLS is doing it. You must follow suit. And you're demanding all this and you're demanding all that. And at the end of the day, if you don't do what MLS does and go to the international calendar, you know, it's terrible. It's terrible. And for U.S. Soccer, it's time for them to put their foot down, and it's time to tell them, everyone below Major League Soccer in the lower levels, if MLS is going to change the international calendar, you must change to the international calendar, and so we can make the Open Cup what it should be about. We're all on the same page. That's what it should be about. But until then, we're going to be stuck here, and it does no one any good. It does nobody any good at all. Do you know who suffers? The lower division fans, the Open Cup itself, and the media who wants to cover this tournament. Because don't forget, they're not going to play any Open Cup games during the playoffs in the month of May. There's no games in June, no games in July until the middle of the year. It's time for everyone to be on the same page when we get to 2027. I think that's the right thing to do. But we'll see if the right thing will be done. That's the more important question. Will the right thing be done? We'll have to wait and see. But once again, folks, this tremendous moment in Open Cup history, which I don't mind showing again. I think it's great. I mean, remember the time Christos FC, Amadou Kansé, he got that spectacular goal to threaten DC United in the Open Cup? This is almost the same thing, except that's done by a 14-year-old. Look at this. Once again, I love showing this. This is great. Penalty was saved. Here comes Braden Kalanji. Bang. Boom. 1-0. Kalanji Pro profile. Look at you celebrate. Look at all your friends and your teammates jumping up and down. Give me a big hug. You did great, kiddo. I know your dad was proud. And we're all proud of you too. A 14-year-old, if you're old enough, you're good enough. Look at that. Old enough, then you're good enough. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Either way. Tremendous work. Tremendous work. Now, we're going to show another cup set to you, all of you. And that is, of course, Vermont Green defeating Portland Hearts of Pine by a final of a 1-0. The only goal of the match came from David Ishmael in the 40th minute. And how Vermont held on is such a question mark. It is a huge question mark. It's unbelievable what they did to get to that point. It is unbelievable what they were able to do to keep themselves going, to keep themselves ahead. And you're thinking a National League champion from USL League Two facing a professional side out of USL League One, and they do the damage, they do the deed. One of two New England matchups in the region of New England, and Vermont takes out the club representing Maine, and they do the job. They do the job. It is just tremendous what they've been able to do. It is just tremendous how they were able to go out and put themselves in position to just, do something big. Now, last time they were in the Open Cup, they did win their first round matchup. And then I think they ended in the second round. But this is an opportunity for them to really, move forward. This is an opportunity for them to put themselves truly on the map and hopefully make a run, because obviously, depending on what they do against Westchester SC, because that'll be their next opponent. We'll get to the previews, of course, for the second round. We'll get that to you in just a moment. Vermont Green has a big shot here and a big chance to take out Westchester SC. If they can do that, then I'm assuming it's either Rhode Island or Hartford. Or maybe they do face the big boys in the New England Revolution. We'll wait and see what will happen. But for now, this is amazing. This is tremendous. Vermont Green pulling off a big victory over Portland Hearts of Pine of USL League One. USL League Two shines in this round. UPSL also shines in this round. Just amazing work by these clubs as we get to talk about anything and everything at the Open Cup. So it looks like I don't think we're going to get Mr. Bruno Kalanji or his son Braden on the show tonight. Unfortunately, I guess something has come up. So we'll just have to wait for them to come back on whenever they want to. And I'll save a spot for them because this is important stuff. This is history. This is history being made, history being written. A 14-year-old scoring a goal in the Open Cup. Next thing you know, be a 10-year-old. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know that's not going to happen. You're not going to see a 10-year-old playing against men. You're not going to see that. I know. It'd be ludicrous. But you like to make a joke every now and then because you never know. You never know when you're going to have a moment like this that you got to talk about. It's just an amazing thing to see and what's going on and how these games are played and moving on forward. And so as we keep going here on the Voices Fire American Soccer Show, we do have two other guests joining me tonight later on. Can't wait to discuss their games, of course. with them when they come and join me. We'll let you know, and of course, when they are coming and joining us tonight. But once again, it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. When you have a moment like that, you have to cherish it. You have to celebrate it. You have to honor that because you'll never get that again. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you'll get a 16-year-old, you'll get a 17-year-old. But are you going to get a 14-year-old to do that? 10 to 1, you're not. 10 to 1, you're not going to get that. And when a moment like that happens, you have to celebrate it over and over and over again. I'll show it again. I don't care. I don't mind showing it again. Look at this. Once again, the penalty, that's not him. It was his teammate. Penalty is saved. There's Kalanji right there. Bang. And the celebration is on. The celebration is on. Over at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You got to celebrate that, folks. You got to celebrate it. Now, I don't know if CBS Sports Golazo ever showed it. And if they didn't, they should have. But a 14-year-old kid scoring in the Open Cup, that is tremendous. And that's why this show is here. To give credit to players, not just in MLS, not just in USL, whether it's the championship or League One or League Two, but of course, below NPSL, UPSL, amateur side, the national leagues, those are those leagues that must be given their props, their due, when something magical happens the way it did. It was, without a doubt, tremendous work from that kid. I mean, if it was that easy, we'd all do it. But it didn't happen. It doesn't happen to all of us, unfortunately. But still, though, it's just amazing to watch. The 14-year-old could do that. I mean, I was just watching yesterday afternoon, of course, being the New York Rangers fan that I am, watching it on my ESPN app, the game. There was someone in the National Hockey League a long time ago, back in 1943, I think the trivia answer was. And the hockey player was 17 years old. That's the youngest that a professional hockey player in the National Hockey League scored a goal. 17 years old. Tremendous. Unbelievable. And I mean, even on hockey, it's harder because it's skates and stuff. But, you know, all I can say is that, you know, that was amazing. That was amazing. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I'm very, very happy and proud of Braden Kalan for. Sorry about that. A little glitch there. Very happy for him. Very proud of him. Glad to see him get that moment. And, you know, just want to see him continue on and just go out there and perform. Just go ahead and perform and be ready to go. So as we continue on here on the 40 Inspire American Soccer Show, waiting for my next guest now. He is the head coach and, of course, the owner of the Tennessee Tempo of UPSL. They are the spring season champions. Waiting for him to join me tonight, Mr. Gift Nadam. Waiting for him to join us and grace us with his presence after a cup set. A cup set. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a cup set. It was unbelievable. And it should be, noted that, it really should be noted that that was a great match. That was a great match to watch. And joining us tonight, once again, he is the head coach. He's also the owner of the Tennessee Tempo of the UPSL, the spring season champions of 2025. Mr. Gift Nadam is joining me tonight. Finally, nice to meet you in person. How are you? Congratulations on winning your first round matchup.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Daniel, for having me. It was an incredible feeling.
I bet it was. I have to say, talking about this matchup, Chattanooga, such a hard-fighting club. They had that amazing run last year. They had to use extra time in the shootout to reach the fourth round. But this year, you just stopped them cold. What was it about that match that gave your players the confidence they can go out there and perform at their best?
Yeah, credits to the entire coaching staff, our players, our community. We understood what was in front of us. Red Wolves are an incredible team, a USL team. Currently, the head coach is the 2025 USL 1 Coach of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. They're just a fantastic organization, and we just did not want to give them the space or opportunity to express their gifts and talent.
Oh, absolutely. So don't worry about what's coming up on the screen, because this is just to help the folks know what you went through against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. So here it comes. So I hope you don't mind the graphics, because there it is right there. 1-0. 1-0. Talk about your goal scorer, Jeffrey. If I mispronounce his last name, you can help me out. Oyerworth?
Yes. Goffin, Oyerworth, he's lively on and off the field. We call him the governor because he takes charge of whatever space he's in and he makes things happen.
Oh, I bet he does. That's great to hear. I also have to ask you, I was very surprised you have a veteran MLS player, Kwadwo Poku, on your club right now. To have him being with those players of yours, how important is his presence on the pitch for them, even on the training pitch, in the locker room? What has he done to give the extra support and the confidence in his teammates to go out there and to challenge each and every second on the pitch?
Yeah, words can't describe what Poku means to us on and off the field. Even before that game, he also coaches our U19 boys team in the academy, and they just won state. They're going to nationals in the summer. So safe travels and incredible team there. But Poku for us is incredible, right? You need youth, you need legs, but you also need some lenses from Father Time. So Poku for us has been incredible in the locker room, among other guys as well. Dominic Oduro, Musa Gay, Bongo, our captain. So there are a few mature guys that have seen a thing or two in this space at this stage of their life. Having them in our locker room and having them on the field and at training, as you've mentioned, it's good to have, because the young guys, they don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know that you don't know. and it's not Gift, the crazy guy, but it's like, okay, you're not just hearing from Gift, but you're also hearing from your captain. You're hearing from some of the other guys that are not captain, but they're older guys on the team, saying it's important that you guys stay disciplined, stay loyal, keep the main thing, togetherness. So all the things that I'm saying, they're echoing it for us in the locker room, off the field, just making sure that they understand that don't do anything stupid the night before the game, just all those things that they just haven't experienced yet. But just having mature guys around them really does help big time.
No, it really does, and it's just tremendous what those guys can do and settle down those young guns. And what a match that was, of course, against Chattanooga Red Wolves. I have to ask you what your thoughts were. You scored that goal in the 35th minute. You get to halftime, you're up, everything looks great, and then of course, you're watching, all the cards are coming out against your team, maybe a little bit too hard on tackles, but the way it was going and the way that they were defending and, helping out their goalkeeper, of course, Francois Gibby. What was that like for you personally to watch all this happening, and you're praying in your head probably, don't let them score?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the Red Wolves is an incredible organization, right? They just don't stop going. You can see why they train 5 days a week, high number of times they train during those 5 days. And my hats goes off to their entire front office and the coaching staff and every player on their roster, whether they play or didn't play. They help those guys prep for that game. For us, going up a goal was a good thing. At the half, the important thing for us was keeping the main thing. And what was the main thing for us? We won the first half. We have to win the second half. And how we're going to do that? We do that together. Not individually, collectively. Everyone has to roll their sleeve and get ready to work, because what's coming at us is not what came at us in the first half. It's almost like you pissed off the bear. So now just be ready for what the bear is going to bring and match their energy, match their effort. And if we have to hunker down and survive for 45 minutes, so be it. But when we get our chance, we need to make it count.
Absolutely. That's great. And let's talk about Francois Gibby. He made some tremendous saves out there in the second half. He had some good saves in the first half too, but some of those saves in the second half were tremendous. And I think I saw one ball. He had it all the way, but it just went wide of the far post. He tracked it all the way to make sure it wouldn't harm him or the net. What has he done to give you the confidence to start him every single match?
Yeah, Franny for us is incredible, right? You don't get to this stage of our time together and have the outcomes we've had if you don't have a reliable goalkeeper in goal. This is our 9th season. We won our conference 6 out of 8 times. We've been to the national championship twice in the last 8 seasons. We won it last year. Franny was the reason we won it last year, among other players that contributed hugely to our success thus far. As far as who's our keeper, our main keeper, is no brainer. If Francois is healthy and he's good to go, we will go with Franny. Francois is just simply incredible. His presence, he communicates well. He plays both feet. He throws both hands. He risked it all. Some of the balls that comes to the back post, you'll see him fly through 4 or 5 guys to make sure that ball does not land on the wrong person's head. So Franny commands his box, and I can't stress the importance that him and the rest of the guys bring to the winning of that game. The one thing I would say here, Daniel, is when people see that game and they see the goal and they see us beating a USL 1 team, what they don't understand or may not fully understand is the work those guys put in behind the scenes, right? These are some college students, but these are mostly married men that are not simply playing for a contract anymore. They're playing for a brotherhood, for a community, for a club, something bigger than themselves. So training is different because they're working. So we can go on and on about that. So it's you've got to have a group of guys that are truly committed to the cause, and these guys are incredible at bleeding for each other.
No, absolutely, and it's tremendous. And I have to ask you, of course, I don't know if you saw this or not, but there was that one club in Georgia called Kalanji Pro Profile, and apparently a 14-year-old scored a goal and made history. Do you have a 14-year-old on your roster that wants to make history too?
If I do, I won't be saying it before the CFC game. But yeah, I did see the clips of the game. He played against us as well, if I'm not mistaken, in the round of 32 when we played him in the UPSL national tournament. He's a good player, right? 14 or not, the boy can play.
Absolutely. So you're going to have to do the Chattanooga double now. You're going to be taking on Chattanooga FC in the second round. And I have to ask you, obviously you probably watched the match yourself against them. What is it about Chattanooga FC maybe that differs from the Red Wolves? And what are you expecting from that club when you battle against them in the second round?
For us, I think it sets a new level of expectation, right? I don't know the thought process, the prep before our game against Red Wolves, but I can assure you that any other team we play here on out, they're not looking at us as an amateur team anymore, right? They're looking at us as someone that could potentially end their journey in the U.S. Open Cup. So if I was in CFC's shoes, I would say that if there was any doubt of any reason why the environment would not be hostile, it is gone now, right? Because now they know, hey, if you take it easy on these guys or you don't come out and play against these guys, they will end your journey. So I expect nothing less than Chattanooga coming out and protecting the turf, protecting their den, and protecting their community and their reputation and everything that comes with that. But for us, the main thing is still the main thing. Together, we can get through anything. Individually, we cannot. So we're going to go in there with the same mindset that we've always gone into every game with.
Absolutely, and that's great to hear. And you know what? I just want to say is I wish I can come over there and check out your club and just talk to your players because it must be a great environment to be over there in Tennessee. I mean, we always talk about New Jersey, St. Louis, Florida, New York City. Some of these, and even in California, some of these great hotbeds for the game and all these players you can find. But, now we're seeing Tennessee coming up big, and they're developing players all over the place, whether it be Nashville SC or even the Chattanooga area, Memphis, even where you are currently. But was that Murfreesboro, I think it is? Murfreesboro?
Yeah. And to your point, right, just if I take you back memory lane to 2025 when we won the national championship, once we won our conference, we had to deal with a team out of St. Louis, right, in the round of 32. Then we had to deal with a team out of Asheville in the round of 16. Then we had to deal with a team out of Miami in the round of 8, and then a team out of Chicago, and then a team in LA in the championship. So when you go through these hard-fought battle, it builds character, right? It's like either swim or drown, win or go home. So with God's help, we've been able to kind of go through that already last fall, with the national tournament. So for me, I think we look back at what we've done together as a group and we say to each other, listen, we've faced some of these kind of things before. It may not be a USL 1 team that we played before, but we've faced adversity and we know how to get through adversity. So we can do it again if we are together.
Absolutely. Listen, Gift, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Congratulations once again. And I hope you do make it into the third round. Obviously, it's going to be a tough challenge again, but I feel pretty good about your side, and I think they're going to do well. Thank you again for joining me, and good luck in the second round.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you to our fans and our community. You guys are incredible. You are our 12th man, and please come do it again.
Absolutely. Gift Nadam, head coach and owner of Tennessee Tempo, the UPSL 2025 spring season champions of the NPSL, joining me tonight. And as we get ready to talk more about the Open Cup, my next guest, hopefully he is logged in. Hopefully the camera's on. If not, hopefully we can hear him. He is the president of the Flint City Bucks, and that is the one and only Costa Papisto joining me tonight. Costa, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. First of all, congratulations to your Flint City Bucks big victory in the opening round, and you're on to the next round. How are you feeling? How is everyone in the club feeling?
Everyone is, and I apologize. I don't know why my camera is not working at the moment, but everyone in Flint is super excited. We had not been in the tournament for 8 years. So, and this is the first time that fans in Genesee County get to experience it. And we had, a wonderful night on Thursday in Grand Blanc. It was quite memorable.
I bet it was. Now you can remind myself, or you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is the original mid-Michigan Bucks and then Michigan Bucks before Flint City, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the team was formed in 1996 in Saginaw by Dan and Jim Duggan, and after Saginaw, the team relocated to Pontiac, where it spent 12 years, and then in 2018, Dan and I met, and we had many meetings that year, and decided to partner up and relocate the team to Atwood Stadium in downtown Flint.
And since then, how has been the crowds, the games? What's it been like for you for since then?
Fantastic. We had a Cinderella story our first year in Flint, 2019. We won the national championship. We hosted the national semifinal that year and had 6,000 people at that game. We had 7,000 people at our national championship game a week later against Reading, Pennsylvania. That was just a crazy, fun year. And then sadly, it all was kind of shut down in 2020, along with everyone else, for the pandemic. And so we've, basically been building back, and it's been good. The community has been super supportive.
I'm great to hear that. Fantastic to hear that. Big match for your team against Forward Madison from USL League One. A very, very tough customer, obviously. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Watching it from your vantage point, what did you think about your club going against such a very difficult opponent?
We knew it was going to be a very tough game. Obviously, Madison has a great history in first round games in Open Cup. They've never lost one in 5 years. So we knew they were going to be ready for us, and they were, and it really was a very tough game. And our guys, both teams played, I think, extremely well. And we were able to come out with the victory, but I was impressed with Madison as well. And it was, I guess that's soccer. Those things can happen.
Exactly. Always the strangest things can happen in these games, especially in the Open Cup. But, did you ever expect to have Forward Madison gift you a goal the way it happened? I mean, it was a great attack from your guys, and then all of a sudden, 13th minute, Stephen Anur Gyamfi just was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the ball hits him and goes past the keeper and into the net, and he said, "Hi, we're going to spot you a goal."
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It was a great play that Jack Roman made to create that moment. I mean, our guys they really played well. Our guys, I'm sure, were not unlike all of the amateur / semi-professional teams that, the players are just chomping at the bit to get this opportunity to take on players in positions where they want to be very soon. So, I mean, that's the allure of the tournament.
It really is.
It is just a great opportunity for players to really showcase their talents.
No, it really is. It really is. And just to see these amateur clubs and, of course, the National League sides like yourself at USL League Two, this is a great opportunity to be a part of something wonderful, and just to show the entire country what you have to offer for players. And of course, you never know. You might your players might get scouted, and they might be transferred or sold to an MLS club or a higher level USL club in the Championship or League One.
Yeah, I mean, in our case, our normal roster, actually our roster for the Madison game will be extremely similar to our roster this summer. But we basically utilize college kids, all college kids, and the top collegiate players that are. The great thing about USL League Two and a lot of the top summer leagues is that it helps to create, it helps to simulate a professional schedule. So if you're playing fall, spring, and summer, I mean, you're kind of replicating what the pros do as far as number of games. And so I think it really does condition these players to become pros. Our franchise has had a lot of success in getting players drafted and signed. And, we've got lots of active players in Major League Soccer right now that have really kind of taken advantage of this summer opportunity to really, elevate their level.
It really does. No, it really will. It really does. You made it. Your club made it 2-0 by Jordi Lopez in the 67th minute. That was a great opportunity for him. And really, from that point on, just coasting through.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word coast, but but yeah, I mean, it was a battle. It really was. It was a battle. Our keeper Noah Goldson from University of Michigan, he's started 51 straight matches for Michigan. He did an incredible job. He made some really big saves at big moments to keep Madison off of the scoreboard. And so he was a big part of the storyline as well. Yeah, the guys they really rallied. They played hard for each other, and they really played hard for the fans. We had a really nice turnout, and actually the weather was very generous. It was, at kickoff, it was like almost 50 degrees and the sun was peeking out, and we couldn't have asked for a better atmosphere that night.
Exactly. Even though it really didn't impact the game that much, Forward Madison lost a player, Turner Humphrey. Both were in second half stoppage time, double yellow, red card, went down to 10 men. But still, the game was in the bag. I mean, if they did get a goal, Forward Madison, it wasn't going to do much anyway because you're going to advance regardless. So that's just, great stuff to see that happening. And, you got yourselves now the big bad boys of Michigan soccer now. You're going to be taking on Detroit City FC in the next round. What are you expecting out of that one? And how are you feeling? And you'll be hosting them too, obviously. And not just hosting them, you'll be on CBS Sports Golazo Network. You've made it to the big time.
Yeah, again, super excited for our community, for the fans, for our players and community to get that extra exposure with Golazo. It's very exciting. Obviously, DCFC, we know how tough this opponent is going to be. They're just down the road from us. But again, it's just another great opportunity for our guys to lay it all on the line and see what they can do. We have a lot of talent on this team, even though players are still current collegiate players. They all want to be professional soccer players, and I predict that many off of this roster will be. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be another. I just hope it's a great match, and that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping for a great match as well. So what is the travel distance from Flint City to Detroit?
Literally an hour. It's
Wow.
right up the road, right up I-75 north.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, that you're not that far away. That's pretty darn good. So, yeah, I mean, you're expecting a heavy dose of traveling away supporters, aren't you?
Yes, Detroit travels very well. They've got a great fan base, a very loyal fan base and supporters group. So, yes, we did play them in Flint in 2019. In fact, that was the opening soccer match at Atwood Stadium in early May, and we had about 5,000 people at that game, and a good 1,500 were came up the road from Detroit. So that was a great atmosphere, and I'm expecting something similar on April 1st.
Tremendous. That's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I know Paul would have loved to be here. Hopefully, if you do defeat Detroit City, we'll have you back on quickly. But tell us about Paul and the job he's done with this club during that Open Cup match.
Paul has been fantastic. He's the head coach at Oakland University as well. He's a former Flint City, actually, he's a former Mid-Michigan Buck. So he knows the organization extremely well. I just can't say enough about Paul and our staff around Paul. Malai Walton, another former Buck, former longtime professional player. Nick Darren. Gary Parsons, our technical director. I mean, we really have great people involved on the soccer side of our business, and we've got a really kind of nice big soccer family here in Flint that and really they do a great job with the players as far as helping the players get to where they want to go. That's our main focus on the soccer side is giving these players their opportunity and helping to showcase them so they can move on and achieve their goals.
That's tremendous. That's great to hear. And like I said, I mean, I remember watching, not so much watching the games, but keeping track of what the Bucks did during when it used to be regular season games and the PDL doubled as Open Cup qualification games, and just to keep track of them and to see who they playing if they do qualify. And I do remember the one game Mid-Michigan Bucks took on the Metro Stars in the Open Cup. I think that was the 2000 run, I believe, or the 2003 run. I had to face Amado Guevara at that time. That had to be a heck of a matchup in the Open Cup to face a team that played at Giant Stadium way back when.
Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't involved with the team back then. I got involved in 2018. My life before soccer was 25 years of hockey. So, so I come to the sport and the team really as a fan. I really enjoy the game very much, but I know my lane.
Well, that's okay. You can step out of your lane if you want to. I'll give you backup, I promise. So that's okay. But Costa, I just want to say I appreciate your time coming on. Thank you very much for coming on. I hope to have you back on again soon. Hopefully, second round, you'll be able to add another notch to that belt for Flint, Michigan, for Flint City Bucks. That's what I'm hoping for you guys. That's going to be a tall task. I know you know that very well, but hopefully the Bucks will move on to the next round. Thank you for joining me tonight, and good luck in the second round of the Open Cup.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Costa Papista, the president of the Flint City Bucks. Almost said Mid-Michigan. Almost. I had to hold myself back there. But that was just tremendous to see that happening, and just a lot of fun. Let's go ahead now. We're going to preview. Here are the next matches. Second round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup coming up to you right now. And here we go. On Tuesday, March the 31st, there'll be 6 matches. Now, once again, Pittsburgh Riverhounds will now host Steel City FC over at Highmark Stadium. This is the makeup date for March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. They couldn't play that game. So the winner for this coming Wednesday, March 25th, will take on and host Virginia Dream at 7 o'clock Eastern on Paramount Plus on Tuesday, March 31st. Asheville City SC will be taking on One Knoxville SC, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Network. And then FC Naples will be hosting FC America CFL Spurs. They're at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. Indy 11 will be hosting Union Omaha at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, also on Paramount Plus. At 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Charlotte Independence taking on Charleston Battery, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Paramount Plus. And finally, Valley 559 FC will be hosting Sacramento Republic at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Paramount Plus and the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. On Wednesday, April the 1st, April Fool's Day. Yes, I know. Hopefully there won't be too many fools on that day. For the next matchup, from 6 o'clock, Chattanooga FC hosting Tennessee Tempo, 6 p.m. Eastern. On Paramount Plus, Richmond Kickers taking on Loudoun United from Virginia. So it'll be a Virginia battle there. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Paramount Plus. Rhode Island FC taking on Hartford Athletics, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. And then Vermont Green hosting Westchester SC, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. Lexington SC hosting Louisville City, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Flint City Bucks taking on Detroit City FC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Galazzo Network. 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain, Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on Spokane Velocity, and that will be on CBS Sports Network and streaming on Paramount Plus. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central, San Antonio FC hosting FC Tulsa, Paramount Plus. At 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain, New Mexico United hosting El Paso Locomotive. And finally, at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, Orange County SC hosting Phoenix Rising at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, CBS Sports Galazzo Network and Paramount Plus streaming. So those are your matches for the second round proper, and hopefully we're going to get some more games, excellent games, hopefully some more cup sets, and it should be exciting and it should be a lot of fun. I want to thank my guests tonight. I want to thank Mr. Gift Nadam from Tennessee Tempo and Mr. Costa Papista from the Flint City Bucks. My name is Daniel Feuerstein. Thank you very much for watching me tonight. Hopefully we'll have a show for you tomorrow night. If not, we'll try and get you a show before these matches start during the international break. It is the international break, so we're going to relax and we're going to take it easy. But as always, please, thank you very much for watching me tonight. And as always, please, 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 please enjoy your football. Thank you. Take care, so long, and have a good night, and bye-bye for now. Have a good night, everybody.